Hello there friends, Nintendo just held their Nintendo Direct for September 2021. It was alright. It's alright. There's some cool stuff coming. For the most part, it's a solid, if largely forgettable Nintendo Direct. But we do have some fun announcements. We do have some interesting things coming down the pipeline. So let's talk about it. We'll do our usual top 5 reveals in the Nintendo Direct in a little bit. First of all, just stuff they announced. Monster Hunter Rise is getting DLC. It's called Sunbreak. It's coming 2022. I enjoyed Monster Hunter Stories 2 a lot more than I enjoyed Monster Hunter Rise, but then that's just the kind of person I am, isn't it? Disco Elysium is finally coming out on Switch on October 12th. Looking forward to that. Chocobo GP is coming next year to the Switch as an exclusive, no less. It's a Chocobo racing game. It looks like a new Chocobo racing game. That has me very excited. Not excited enough to put it in top 5, but pretty excited. We have 2 announcements of future Directs, because Nintendo knows. Nintendo fans love nothing more than Nintendo Directs. So now they have to include announcements of Directs in Directs. So there is 2. Sakurai will be revealing the final Smash character on October 5th. Plus, there will be an Animal Crossing Nintendo Direct coming sometime in October. They didn't specify the date, but they did tease Brewster's Roost. So you have that to look forward. Other stuff, Triangle Strategy, which is now just called Triangle Strategy instead of Project Triangle Strategy. Just like Project Octopath Traveler, they just dropped the project. But it is nonetheless coming out March 4th, 2022. They revealed a bunch of new gameplay tweaks they've made based on the demo. My big one is I thought it was too slow, and they did mention that they've sped it up, so I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that and seeing did they in fact speed it up. A couple of real good coming today announcements. There's the Castlevania Advance collection coming today, featuring the Castlevania games from Game Boy Advance, as the title suggests. ActRaiser Renaissance, also later today, a remake of ActRaiser, which is out of nowhere and out today. And also Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2 are out today. Well, 1 was already out, but Chapter 2 is also out today on Switch. So that brings us to the top 5 things from this Nintendo Direct, starting with number 5. The strangest thing in this Direct. Miyamoto walked on screen and is like, hello friends, we are releasing the Mario movie, coming next year, coming holiday next year. I think it was December 22nd was the US date, and they said they would reveal other dates as they come. They then said they didn't have any footage to show us yet. However, they do have the cast. Now boy, is this cast sure something. So the cast of the Mario movie will be Chris Pratt playing Mario, which just, I have never heard anything more cursed in my life. Anya Taylor-Joy playing Peach, Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, which I'm either very into or extremely not into, and I still haven't quite worked it out. Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, Kevin Michael Richardson as Kamek, Sebastian Maniscalco as Spike, and then surprise cameos from Charles Martinet, the voice of Mario himself. This cast is I don't even know what, because it's a combination of exceptionally weird, but also just like the most obvious popular pick you could pick. Like Chris Pratt is picked because he's a movie star, not because he's good at Mario. But who knows? He might be good at Mario. I don't know. I don't think he will, and he certainly wouldn't have been my first choice to play Mario. But here we are, in a world where Chris Pratt is Mario. It's weird. Sure is weird, this cast. Anyway, I hope the movie's good. Illumination don't exactly have like a wonderful track record of making like really good animated films as opposed to really successful animated films, which is what they do. They churn out hits. They don't exactly churn out very good movies. So we'll see how the Mario movie turns out. Number 4, Nintendo Online updates. Everyone expected Game Boy, not there. Nintendo Online will be releasing the expansion pack coming sometime in late October. It will feature N64 and Genesis games coming to Nintendo Online. All the N64 games will also have online multiplayer. They showed a bunch of the ones that are coming, including at launch Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Yoshi's Story, Ocarina of Time, Winback. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a good game. Who knows? Mario Tennis and Dr. Mario 64 are the games they revealed. Plus they teased more, including F-Zero, including Majora's Mask. So those are the ones you can look forward to coming down the line. And Genesis games, in which they showed a bunch of them, including Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra, Hardcore, Echo the Dolphin, Golden Axe, and Sonic 2, Streets of Rage, and a couple of more are all coming to Nintendo Online as part of this expansion pack releasing later next month. They didn't reveal pricing, other than that it's obviously more expensive to get the N64 and Sega Genesis games. As I mentioned, the really interesting thing, one is all the leaks coming into this Nintendo Direct were that they would be Game Boy games. and there is not yet any sign of Game Boy games. So we'll see how that plays out, but at the moment they're focused on N64 and, weirdly, Sega Genesis. They'll also be releasing physical Sega Genesis and N64 controllers for Nintendo Online members. So you can use the N64 controller to play N64 games as God intended, even though it's like the worst controller ever made. Please don't hurt me for that. Number 3, a brand new Splatoon 3 trailer as the game continues to come out next year, but they showed off a bunch of single player. So it looks more open, but that's tough to tell because it was a very stylized, quick cut trailer, so you didn't get a ton of like deep looks at what the levels look like, but it does look more open. And the big thing is it's the return of the mammalians, so mammals are back. This world that has evolved beyond the necessity of mammals, or they went extinct somehow through some disastrous extinction event, as is outlined in Splatoon 1, as you learn all the Splatoon lore, that Splatoon is actually post-apocalyptic, and mammals are all gone and the squids have risen up in their place. Mammals are coming back! The big return of mammals to the Splatoon world. As I mentioned, they focused mostly on the single player and showed a little bit of a multiplayer map and some of the specials, including what looked to be some kind of like force field or shield. Splatoon 3. I think the Splatoon games are really, really good, and I'm excited for Splatoon 3. Number 2, 3D Kirby. Not normal Kirby. Not side-scrolling Kirby. Not weird Kirby spin-off in a different genre that you don't really want. 3D Kirby. It's about time. Like, there's a lot of Nintendo properties that never really moved into 3D, and I think it's all Donkey Kong 64's fault for being a horrible, terrible game. And Nintendo are just like, yo, Kirby, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, you're all 2D from now on. Except now, 3D Kirby. Kirby and the Forgotten Land will release in spring 2022, and it looks like a 3D Kirby game. It has the Kirby power-ups, it has, I think, everything you would possibly want from a Kirby game, but in 3D. I'm interested to see how the final product looks, because like it wasn't the most visually stunning trailer, but it looked pretty good. Hopefully by the time it comes out, it has been tidied up and polished up to something really interesting. I'm just excited to see Kirby doing something different. I know a lot of the 3DS games are held in very high regard, particularly Planet Robobot, but I think we'd all agree that Kirby has reached the point where it's like, you gotta do something new with Kirby. And they're doing something new with Kirby. And then the big final reveal, the big main event, Bayonetta 3. After 4 years out in the cold, Bayonetta finally, we get a real trailer for it as opposed to like the sneak peek tease we got at the Game Awards 4 years ago in 2017. And then they didn't say a word about that game for 4 years, which probably tells you when they revealed that logo, it was just a logo. But nonetheless, Bayonetta 3 coming to Nintendo Switch in 2022, no more narrow date than that, but they did show a pretty extensive trailer including gameplay, some of it which looked, in typical Bayonetta fashion, absolutely wild, plus a tease of it. I think it's a new character at the end. I'm not sure that was a character from the original games they showed at the end, but I could be wrong about that. They included like some other platinum teases, because there was a tower that said like Wonderful 101 at the top, and there was also a Lappy reference in the trailer, which throwback to Astral Chain. Good game if you've never played it. I don't think a ton of people have played Astral Chain. Good game. But nonetheless, Bayonetta is finally out from the cold. Bayonetta is finally a real game that's coming out in 2022. So yeah, as I mentioned, not a great direct. There's not a ton here that like really would have your jaw on the floor, but I think the next few months for Switch looks pretty good anyway, with Metroid, with Advance Wars, with 2 Pokemon games, with a Triangle Strategy coming out in March. I think the next few months are okay as we wait to see what Nintendo have next year. Maybe it is just Breath of the Wild and Bayonetta next year, but those are 2 pretty big games as well. That we can wait until whatever the January or February direct will be. We won't find out. But you do have 2 directs coming in the month of October. You do have the Final Smash reveal on October 5th, and you do have the Animal Crossing direct coming sometime in October as well. So there is more directs coming down the line, if that's what floats your boat. And who doesn't love Nintendo directs, even the disappointing ones? It's always just like, nice time, video game reveals. I'm interested in these like 3 games. I'm excited to see 3D Kirby and another Chocobo racing game, and Project Triangle Strategy becoming Triangle Strategy. And that's all I really need. Except, of course, other than the cursed Mario Cast. But listen, it might be good. Who knows? Thank you so much for watching. Follow me on Twitter at GarrettKidney, or ETTKIDNEY. On your left, my retrospective review of Splatoon, all the way back from 2015. Remember that? Splatoon, the first one. And on your right, my retrospective review of Super Mario Galaxy 2. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.